What does he say?
Nothing, just that he'll come by around noon.
Then you should remember to be here when he comes.
Oh, yes, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm already finished with my morning house calls.
I'll be very curious to see how he takes the news.
No, he won't be ecstatic. Not that much I know. Since I'm the one who, I made the discovery, not him.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Deep down, of course, he'll be pleased and no doubt relieved. But still, Peter is so damn stubborn. In his mind, he's the only person allowed to do anything good for the town.
You know what, Thomas? Maybe you should just be gracious and share the honor with him. Couldn't you say he steered you in the right direction?
Yes, fine. I couldn't care less, as long as I can straighten things out.
Hello? Is it true?
Father,
Is it true?
what are you doing?
Good morning, Martin. Good morning.
Don't just stand there. Come in.
Well, if it's true, I'm coming. If it's not, I'm out of here.
What's true?
This lunacy about the water supply. Now, is it or is it not true?
Of course it's true. How did you hear about it?
Oh, Petra stopped by on her way to school.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she was in a hurry, but she told me all about it. At first I thought she was messing with me, but that's not like Petra.
No, it certainly isn't. Why would you even think that?
Oh, you can never trust anybody these days. Before you know it, you'll be the punchline of all the jokes in town. So, is it really true?
Martin, please sit down. I'm telling you, it is true, without question. And now, don't you think it's a blessing for the town?
A blessing for the town.
Yeah, that I made this discovery in time.
I never believed you would play a prank like this, and on your own brother, no less.
A prank?
Father, dear.
What was it again? How did it go? Oh, something about animals that got into the water pipes.
Yes, they are called infusoria.
Right. And a shockingly large number of these critters got in. Swarms of them, according to Petra.
No, correct. Hundreds of thousands, maybe more.
Oh, but no one can see them. Is that it?
Right, they are invisible to the naked eye.
Well, I'll be damned if this is the best thing you come up with yet.
What do you mean?
But you'll never get the mayor to fall for it.
Well,
not for a single second.
Well, we'll just have to see about that.
Do you really think that he'd be that insane?
I'm hoping the whole town will be that
Oh, the
insane.
whole town, huh? Yeah, well, maybe it will. Just maybe. But that would serve them right, wouldn't it? Teach them a lesson. They thought they were so much smarter than us old timers. They kicked me out of the city council. It was a witch hunt, I tell you. But now it's their turn. They'll get what's coming. Just keep playing your little game, Stockman.
Morton.
Keep up the monkey business, I say. And if you can get the mayor and his cronies to fall for it, publicly humiliating them, I'll give £100 to the crowd.
Well, that's very generous.
Yeah, you know I don't have much to spare, but if you can pull this off, Stockman, hey, I'll donate 50 crowns to the poor at Christmas time.
Good morning. Oh, my apologies.
No, come in.
Is he in on it too?
What do you mean?
Of course he is.
Yes, I should have guessed. You're going to print it in the papers. You are a hero, Stockman. A true hero. Look, don't let me get in the way. I'm leaving you two to plot out your little scheme.
No, don't go, Martin. Stay a bit longer.
No. I'll be going. Concoct all those conspiracies you can think of. Hey, they may have knocked me down, but I'm not out. Not yet.
Can you believe it, Hofstadt? That old man doesn't buy a word of this business about the water supply.
Oh, well, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, indeed. That's what we were discussing. I imagine it's why you've come too.
Yes. Do you have a few minutes, Doctor?
As many as you need, my friend.
Have you heard anything from the mayor?
Not yet. He'll be on his way over shortly.
I have given the matter a great deal of thought since we spoke last night.
And?
But to you know, as a doctor and a man of science, this business with the water supply seems like an isolated issue. I suspect it hasn't even occurred to you that it might be tied up with many other things.
Yes, in what way? Well, let's sit down, my friend, shall we? There on the sofa. So, you were saying...
But yesterday, you said that the water supply was contaminated by impurities in the soil.
Yes, exactly. The source is undoubtedly the toxic swamp up in Milldale.
Pardon me, Doctor, but I believe the source of the pollution to be an entirely different swamp.
Oh, and what swamp would that be?
The swamp in which our city is now rotting.
What the hell are you talking about?
The town's affairs have all drifted little by little into the hands of a pack of bureaucrats.
Oh, come on. They're not all bureaucrats.
No, but those who aren't bureaucrats are either followers or friends of those who are. Look, our government is run by a small group of wealthy men from old families. They are the ones who control us.
Yes, but they also govern with skill and insight.
Did they display skill and insight when they laid the water pipes where they currently are?
Well, no, that was obviously a huge mistake, one that will be soon corrected.
Do you really think it will go that smoothly?
Well, smoothly or not, it will have to be addressed.
Yes, as long as the press plays its part.
I highly doubt that will be necessary. My
Now,
brother...
pardon me again, Dr. Frederick. I plan to take this matter up.
In the paper?
Yes. When I took over the People's Messenger, I was determined to blow up this string of obstinate, pig-headed old men who pull all the levers of power.
But you said yourself it almost ruined the paper.
Yes, it's true. At the time, we had to pull back and retract much of what we put in print. There was a fear that the health spa scheme would collapse if these men were taken down by the paper. But now that the spa exists, we can finally be done with these noble gentlemen.
Be done with them? I guess, but we still owe them a great debt.
Which we will properly acknowledge in due course. But as a journalist who represents the voice of the people, I cannot let an opportunity like this slip from my fingers. We must shatter the notion that our public officials are infallible and beyond reproach. It is our duty to dispose of it like any other superstition.
No, we agree there, Mr. Halstead. I wholeheartedly believe that superstitions should all be routed out.
I mean, it would be a shame to attack the mayor. He is your brother, after all, but I'm sure you'll agree that the truth should come first before any other consideration.
Yeah, well, of course I do,
But please don't judge me, sir. I am no more self-absorbed or calculating than most people these days.
who would even think such a thing, my friend?
You know, I come from humble stock, as you know, and I've had many opportunities to see firsthand what those in the lower rungs of our society need most. And that, Doctor, is a share in the running of our public affairs. That is what develops competence and knowledge and self-respect in people.
I understand that completely,
Well,
but
yes, and I believe that a journalist carries a heavy burden of responsibility whenever he wastes an opportunity to help liberate the oppressed and downtrodden masses. Now, I know full well that those in power will brand my actions agitation and words. I mean, let them say whatever they want about me. What do I care? As long as my conscience is clear, I really don't...
Yes, Mr. Halstead, yes, but still. God damn it. Come in.
Pardon me, Doctor, for being so bold.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Saxon, the publisher of the People's Messenger.
Yes, Doctor, indeed it is.
Are you here for me, Slackson?
No, I didn't know you were here. It was the doctor himself.
Well, what can I do for you?
Is it true what Mr. Billing told me that you intend to get us a better water system?
Yes, for the spa.
I see. Yes. Well, then I just came by to convey my full support. I will do everything in my power to help ensure your success. You see?
Well, thank you for your kind offer, but
You might find it helpful to have the backing of us tradesmen. We form a solid majority in this town. That is when we choose to throw our collective weight behind something. And it's always good to have the majority on your side, Doug.
No, of course, but I just can't imagine that any special measures will be necessary in this instance. It's just such a clear, uncomplicated
Even
issue.
so, it might give you some leverage. Certainly wouldn't hurt. I know the local authorities quite well. Those holding power are never eager to bend to the suggestions of outsiders, and that is why I think it would be wholly appropriate, for us to hold a demonstration of sorts.
It's exactly what I was thinking.
Demonstration? Really? How would you demonstrate?
With great temperance, Doctor. As you know, I hold temperance in the highest regard and work diligently to pursue it in all things, for temperance is the chief virtue of the average citizen. It's my opinion.
So, yes, we all know your feelings on that subject.
I sure hope so. I think my commitment to temperance is widely acknowledged. And this question about the water supply is of the utmost importance to us small tradesmen. The spa has the potential to turn this town into a little gold mine. It's the engine of our economy, ushering in a new standard of living, especially for those of us who own homes. So we are eager to give the spa our unwavering support. And as chairman of the Homeowners Association,
Yes.
and as an officer in the Temperance Society, as you know, I stand on the side of temperance.
Yes, at this point, Mr. S. Laxon, I think that goes without saying.
Well, as you can imagine, I meet a lot of people through the cause, people who know me to be a sensible and law-abiding citizen. As you said yourself, Doctor, I have a certain influence in this town, and I might add a small amount of power.
I am fully aware of that.
Well, then you are also aware that it would be easy for me to gather signatures if need be. Yes, for a petition from the citizens of this town to thank you for bringing this important matter to the attention of the public. Of course, it would have to be written thoughtfully and with temperance so as not to offend the authorities of those in positions of power. But as long as we're careful in how we construct it, no one will question our integrity, I think.
Well, even if they don't like what it says.
No. We will not do anything that will offend those in power, Mr. Honson. No opposition to the people who can take away what little power we currently possess. I've had enough of that in my time. Nothing good ever comes of it. But no one can deny the citizen's fundamental right to express his opinion freely, but sensibly, with moderation.
I can't tell you, dear Mr. S. Laxon, how much I appreciate the support of my fellow citizens. I'm overwhelmed with joy. So, well, come, let's have a toast. You'll have a glass of sherry with me, huh?
No, thank you. I never touch spirits.
Well then, how about a glass of beer? What do you say?
Well, not either, Doctor, but thanks. I never drink anything, especially this early in the day. I'll go now and talk with some of the homeowners around town and begin laying the groundwork.
That's really very kind of you, Mr. S. Laxon, but it's hard for me to believe these tactics will be necessary. The issue seems to me to be straightforward and undeniable.
Government officials always move slowly, Doctor. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should blame them, but
We'll light a fire under them all on the paper tomorrow. Yes,
there will be no violence, Mr. Hofstad. We must proceed with temperance or we'll lose their support right out of the gates. You can take my word for it. I have learned many hard-won lessons in the school of life. Now it's time for me to say goodbye, Doctor. You have the backing of us tradesmen, a small but loyal majority that will stand by your side solid as a wall.
And you have my thanks, Mr. S. Laxon. Goodbye.
Are you coming to the office, Mr. Officer?
Later this afternoon, I still have a few things to wrap up.
Fine, I'll see you later.
What do you say to that, Doctor? Don't you think it's high time we shake things up and give all this weak-kneed, half-hearted cowardice a swift kick in the pants?
Are you talking about S. Laxon?
Yes, I am. Look, he's a good man who means well, but his feet are stuck in the swamp, just like most of the other people's in this town. I mean, they flip and they flop from this side to the other, completely risk-averse and wavering with so much trepidation, they never dare to step in any direction.
Yes, but S. Laxon really seems to have good intentions.
Yeah, it would be better if he had a backbone and stood with self-assurance behind his convictions.
Yeah, well, there we agree completely.
Then I'm going to seize this opportunity to get these people with all their good intentions to finally do something. I mean, the worship of authority must be eliminated from this town. This blatant, unforgivable oversight involving our water supply, that must be brought to the attention of every eligible voter.
Oh, very well. If you think if it's good for the community, so be it. But not until I've spoken with my brother.
Okay, I'll draft an editorial spelling it all out. And if the mayor doesn't wish to take this matter up,
Well, why would you even think that?
I think it's a real possibility. And if it is,
Well, then, I promise you, look, right here, I'll let you publish my full report, just as it is, without edits or redactions.
really? Was that a promise?
Yes, here, it's in your hands. Now, take it with you. Irrespective of what happens, you might as well read it. You can return it when you're done.
Very good. I certainly will. Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mr. Housley. You'll see, it will all go smoothly, or as smoothly as it can.
Yeah, right. I guess we'll see.
Catherine, no, you're back, Petra.
Yes, I'm just back from school. Hasn't he been here yet?
Well, my brother, no, but I've been having a long talk with Hodgson. He's very impressed with what I've discovered. It turns out it's of much larger significance than I originally thought. So he has placed his paper at my disposal, should it be necessary.
And will it be necessary?
Of course not. But still, it's a real shot in the arm to know the independent, the liberal-minded press is on my side. If you can believe it, I even had a visit from the chairman of the Homeowners Association.
Is that so? What did he want?
To offer his support as well. And they'll all have my back if things get ugly. Catherine, do you know what I have behind me now?
Behind you? No, what do you have behind you?
A solid majority.
I see. And is that good for you, Thomas?
Why, yes, I should think so. Very good indeed. Oh, God, it is so deeply gratifying to feel connected with fellow citizens in such a brotherly way.
And to do so much good and be of use, Father?
Yes, and all for our hometown, my hometown.
That was the doorbell.
It must be my brother. Come in. Come in. Great to see you here.
Good morning, Peter. How are things at City Hall these days?
Just, okay. Thank you for asking. Last night, after office hours, I received a very lengthy report from you on the state of the spa's water supply.
Yes, have you read it?
I have.
And what did you think of my findings?
Come, Petra.
Was it necessary to pursue these investigations behind my back?
Yes, until I was completely certain.
And are you completely certain?
Well, my report speaks for itself. Didn't you find it convincing?
Is it your intention to submit your report to the spa's board of directors as an official document?
Well, of course. Something must be done about the
You used
situation
very
right away.
dramatic language in your report, as usual. Among other things, you said that what we offer spa visitors is a slow, insidious poisoning.
Here, how else can it be described? I mean, just think for a moment Water that is poisonous when ingested or when it touches the skin. And these sick, afflicted people come here in good faith, seeking better health, paying us enormous amounts of money, and I might add, to help cure them of their illness.
And then you have the audacity to proclaim in your concluding statement that we must build a new sewer system to drain away the so-called hazardous waste from Milldale, and then relay all of your water pipes?
Yes, yes. And do you know of a better solution? I, for one, do not.
I made up an excuse to visit the city's engineer this morning and half jokingly mentioned these upgrades and improvements as things we should think about considering at some point in the future.
At some point in the future.
He, of course, smiled at my apparent extravagance. Have you taken the trouble to consider what your proposed overhaul would cost? From what I gathered from the engineer, it would probably amount to 100,000 crowns or more.
That much?
Yes, and that's not even the worst part. Are you ready for it? The work would take more than 2 years.
2 years?
To complete.
Wait a minute, 2 whole years?
At least, and what would we do with the spa during that time? Shutter it? We got no choice. I mean, do you actually think anyone would ever come here again once the word gets up that the water could be toxic?
But Peter, the water is toxic.
And all of this just now, the perfect moment, right when the spa is starting to thrive. Many of the surrounding towns well positioned to brand themselves health resorts. Do you think any of them will hesitate to capitalize on our misfortune and lure our paying customers away to their rivers and streams? No, springs without question will do this, and we will be left in the lurch. We'll end up having to close the spa permanently due to all the cost, and then you will have successfully ruined your hometown.
I will have ruined.
Surely you comprehend, Thomas, that the spa is the future of this town, the only future worth mentioning. You must understand that like I do.
Right then, what do you think we should do?
I am not entirely convinced by your report that the condition of the water is as dangerous as you say.
If anything, it's worse, Peter. I tell you, or it will be this summer when the temperatures start to
And I say again that you are blowing things out of proportion. A competent physician understands where he fits within the system and acts in accordance with certain standards and norms. If he prescribes a course of action, he should know how to prevent the kind of negative side effects that have the potential of harming or even killing the patient.
And so,
At the end of the day, the existing water supply is what it is. That's just an undeniable fact. But in the due course of time, I'm sure the board of directors will be open to considering whether it might be possible with appropriate fiscal limits to begin introducing certain improvements.
and you think I ought to lend my name to such shameless deception?
Shameless deception?
Yes, deception. It would be fraud, a lie, an atrocity, an unforgivable crime against the people, against our entire society.
As I said before, I am not convinced, nor have I been able to convince myself, that there is any real or impending danger.
Yes, you have. There is no other possible conclusion, and you know it. My report couldn't be more clear-cut or convincing. You understand the situation perfectly, Peter, but you just won't say it out loud. Because it was you who lobbied, quite forcefully I might add, to place the spa and the water pipes where they are now. A major mistake, which you now refuse to acknowledge. Don't you know that I can see straight
Now, even if that's true, even if I am a bit overprotective when it comes to my reputation, it's for a reason. Without moral authority, I cannot lead the people or direct affairs in the way I consider most beneficial to the health of the community. And because of this, and for many other reasons, we must bury it. It is of the utmost importance that your report does not get delivered to the board of directors. We must bury it for the good of the people. Later on, when the time is right, I will bring the issue up for debate and discussion. We'll do our best to address it quietly and discreetly, but for now, not a single word, not a whisper about this unhappy business must reach the ears of the people.
But it can't be stopped.
It must and shall be
And
stopped.
I'm telling you that's impossible. There are far too many people who know about it at this point already.
Who knows about it? Who knows? Don't tell me you spoke to those newsmen from the People's Messenger.
Yes, they definitely know. The independent liberal press will ensure that you do your duty.
You are an incredibly reckless man. Have you thought about the consequences that may arise from this for you?
Consequences for me?
Yes, right, for you and for your family.
What the hell are you saying?
Haven't I always been there for you whenever you needed a hand?
Yes, you have, and I thank you.
Well, I don't ask for your thanks. In most cases, I was forced to act to a certain extent in my own self-interest. But I always hoped by helping improve our financial position, I would be able to keep you reasonably in check.
No, and you did it for yourself.
Well, to a certain extent. It can be more than a little embarrassing for a public official to be constantly cleaning up after his closest relative, who compromises himself again and again.
And that's what you think I do, compromise myself?
Yes, I'm afraid you do. Without knowing, you have a rebellious, recalcitrant, sometimes even explosive nature. Along with the disastrous impulse to rush your opinions into print whenever you feel so moved. If an idea occurs to you, you feel the need to write an article about it for the paper and to publish a pamphlet for public distribution.
Well, it is the duty of every citizen when he has a new idea to share it with the public.
Oh, the public has no need for new ideas. The public does best with the good old-fashioned established ideas, the ones who have been worked out just fine in the past.
You can actually look at me and say that with a straight face.
Yes, I am speaking straight with you today. Something I have avoided doing in the past, given your temper. But I feel compelled to tell you, Thomas, you have absolutely no idea how much you hurt yourself with your sanctimony and officious behavior. You were always complaining of the authorities and even the government, but shouting this all out, swearing that you've been overlooked and persecuted. But what else do you expect? A man as exhausting as you.
Oh, exhausting now.
Yes, Thomas, you are exhausting and nearly impossible to work with. Trust me, I have plenty of experience. You always place your own concerns above all others. You even seem to have forgotten that without my recommendation, you wouldn't even be the SPA's chief medical officer.
Well, that job was rightfully mine. It belonged to no one else, and you know it. I was the first to see the town's true potential as a world-class health spot. I was the only one in the beginning who saw the healing properties of the water. And for years, I fought for the idea all on my own, a lone voice in the wilderness. And I wrote about it.
Yes. Wasn't right. Not that you could have been expected to understand us, given we lived off in the middle of nowhere. But as soon as the conditions were favorable, I and the others took matters into our own hands.
Yes, and you completely mishandled my glorious plan. Oh, it's very easy to see what wise and visionary leaders you all were.
Oh, and it's very easy to see you're itching for a fight. A place to put all your unjustified rage. You want to take down all your superiors. This old habit of yours. You just can't bear the thought of having anyone having authority over you. Look down your nose at any official who holds a higher position than you and see him as your personal enemy. Well, and somehow, in your mind, that gives you full license to use whatever weapon you choose against him. But I have educated you, Thomas, on what is at stake for the town, and consequently for me as well. And so I am warning you, Thomas, I am unshakable in my resolve to make this demand of you.
Demand? What demand?
All right, since you have not exercised discretion or refrained from running your mouth in front of the outsiders about this delicate matter, which should have remained restricted as part of the SPA's official business, we cannot simply sweep it under the rug. All kinds of rumors will soon spread throughout the region and even overseas. And those who wish to do us wrong will invent all sorts of embellishments and additions. Consequently, it will be crucial for you to publicly refute these rumors yourself.
What? Me? I don't understand.
Upon further investigation, you will conclude this matter is nowhere near as serious or as dangerous as you originally imagined.
Yes, I see. So, that's what you expect me to do?
Yes, and I also expect that you will express your full confidence in the board of directors and our ability to thoroughly and conscientiously make the necessary changes to address the issue and to put it to rest.
But you'll never be able to accomplish this, Peter, as long as you keep patching and covering things up. I'm telling you. And this is my deepest and most heartfelt conviction.
As a member of the SPA staff, you have no right to hold an individual conviction.
No right to hold it. Now, what are you saying?
As a paid staff member, that's what I'm saying. Now, as a private citizen, oh no, of course, that's another thing, matter completely. But as a subordinate officer of the SPA, you have no right to express any convictions that are at odds with those of your superiors.
Well, now you have crossed the line. And I, as a doctor, a man of science, have no right to...
No. The matter at hand is not exclusively a scientific one. It's far more complicated than that. And interdependent. It has both technical and economic dimensions that must be considered.
Well, I don't give a rat's ass how you describe it. I will freely speak my mind about any subject I want.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Just not about the SPA. We forbid you to interfere.
Forbid? Who forbids me? You and those...
I forbid you! I, your highest ranking superior, when I give you a direct order, you had better obey it.
My God, Peter, if you heard my brother...
You're gonna stand for this, are you, Father Petra?
Folks, I see you've been listening in.
I listened on purpose!
Oh, well, I can't say I'm sorry. I wanted you to hear every word.
You spoke to me using words such as forbid and
You
obey.
gave me no choice but to use those words.
And I'm supposed to make a public statement retracting my findings and selling your lie.
We consider it non-negotiable that you make a public statement in accordance with the terms I have just outlined.
Yes, and if I choose not to obey?
Then we will put out a statement of our own to reassure the public.
Oh, then I will write a counter-statement, exposing the whole story and proving my point that I am right and you are wrong. So then what will you do?
Then I will be unable to prevent your dismissal.
Dismissal? Nothing, dismissal?
Your dismissal from the SPA as our chief medical officer. I will be forced to request your immediate termination, removing you from all SPA-related activities going forward.
You would dare do this?
No, you don't! You go! You're the one playing games, Thomas. Go ahead, Get him! See what happens?
Uncle Peter, this is such a shameful way to treat a man like my father!
Oh, we're already forming opinions of our own now, aren't we? I'm not surprised. Captain, now, you've always seemed like the most sensible member of this family. I strongly urge you to marshal all of your influence over your husband and get him to listen to reason. Help him comprehend what this will mean, both for his family...
My family is my business.
As I was saying... both for his family and for the town he lives in.
I am the one who cares about this town and knows what's best for it. I want to reveal the evil secrets that one way or another will come eventually to light. That's right. You will soon see how much I love my hometown.
Though through blind obstinance, you will cut off the town's main source of income, destroying...
And have you lost your mind? Our livelihood is mired in corruption and the trafficking of toxic sludge. Our city's prosperity is rooted in mendacity. It's all been built upon a lie.
These are all your fantasies, perhaps words, your fabrications. The man who hurls such offensive allegations at his own hometown must be an enemy of society.
How dare you?
Thomas!
Settle down, Father. Stay here, subject myself to violence. You have been warned. Think about the welfare of your family, as well as your own. Goodbye.
Am I just supposed to take this and put up with that kind of treatment in my own home? Well, what do you have to say about that, Catherine?
It's shameful, Thomas. A complete disgrace.
Oh, if I could just get my hands on him, I'd strangle him myself.
I only have myself to blame. I should have stood up to them many years ago, baring my fangs and biting them where it hurts. And to be called an enemy of society? Oh, me, I won't stand for it. My God, I won't.
But Thomas, dear, your brother has all the power.
Yes, but I have righteousness on my side.
What good is righteousness when you have no power?
Oh, Mother, what are
How
you
can you
saying?
talk that way?
Are you saying that in a free society it doesn't matter if you're right? That's absurd and truly laughable. Anyway, it's not like I don't have the liberal independent press in my horizontal majority behind me. That's plenty of power.
My God, Thomas, surely you're not thinking of...
What? Oh, tell me, what am I not thinking of doing?
publicly opposing your brother.
What else would you have me do but stand resolutely for what is right and wrong?
Yes, my question exactly. But it's all pointless. If they won't, they won't.
Oh, Catherine, just you wait. You will see how I will fight to the finish.
Yes, your career will be finished. That is what will happen. Plain and simple.
Well, at least I will have done my duty for the public and for society itself. That's right. I'm the one who will do it. The man who they've branded as enemy of society.
Thomas, what about your duty to your family? To those of us at home? Do you really think you'd be living up to your duty to us? The people you swore you would care for and support?
Oh, Mother, why do you always put us first?
Oh, yes, that's easy. That's easy for you to say, Petra. You can support yourself if necessary, but the boys, Thomas, have you thought about them? Have you thought about yourself just a little? And what it will mean? Or of me?
I think you've come unhinged, Catherine. If you seriously believe that I would surrender to Peter and his cronies, groveling before them like a coward, no. Not even if I have to spend the rest of my life in abject misery, never knowing happiness again.
I don't know about that, but I can assure you there will be no happiness left for any of us if you keep defying him. You'll be right back where you started, without a regular income, unable to provide for your family. I'd like to believe we all had enough of that in the old days. Remember what it was like, Thomas. Think about what's at stake and what all this means.
And this is what these bean counters, these pencil pushers, these desk jockeys can bring down upon a free and honest man. Isn't it disgusting, Catherine?
Yes, without question. They have treated you with great disrespect. But God knows there's so much injustice in this world that one must stomach. Ah, here are the boys. Thomas, look at them. What will happen to them? Oh, no, you haven't the heart.
No, the boys. No. Never. Not even if the earth came crashing down for such tyranny and oppression.
Thomas, what are you going to do?
I'm going to earn the right to look my sons in the eye when they've grown up and become free and honest men, just like their father.
May God help us all. Our father's a good man, and he's true to his heart and his principles, and he'll never give up.
And Act 2.